Hello everybody, I'm Jason Burnt with Macomb Township Government Access along with Brad Fetters, and tonight we come to you from Dakota High School getting set for this varsity boys basketball game between the Dakota Cougars and the Romeo Bulldogs. And Brad, it's early season, both these teams playing this crossover here tonight. The object of this one is to just get ready for league play, which is coming up pretty quick.
Yeah, with the change to the MHSA schedule with the boys getting off to this earlier start, Dakota is going to have 3 league games before the Christmas break, and this is a familiar foe in the Romeo Bulldogs, who used to be in the MAC Red before Dakota's gone on this really awesome run of 4 straight MAC Red championships. It was indeed the Romeo Bulldogs that were the champions all the way back in 2014, so these two teams know each other really well.
When you look at Dakota, obviously their top 2 guys that Coach Toko is going to have to rely a lot on this year is his son, point guard Mark Toko, and of course Ryan Rollins.
Yeah, this Dakota team, a lot of depth. Their 6-point victory over Grosse Pointe South in their last game. 4 different Cougars scored in double digits, so it's really a nice blend to the starting lineup for the Cougars, but really Rollins and Toko in the backcourt really get things going offensively.
We should have an outstanding ball game here tonight. Stay with us. We'll be back in a few moments for the opening tip on Macomb Township Government Access.
Hi, I'm Jordan Peele. I'm usually trying way too hard to be funny. Well, right now I'm going to be completely serious with you. Online bullying is a toxic side effect of modern technology. No one's immune to it. Not you, not me, nobody. But there's a way we can fix it. This emoji in the symbol section of your phone's emoji keyboard. Use it when you see bullying online to say, I see what you're doing, not cool, definitely not funny. And I know what funny is. I coined the phrase wordness to the turdness. So join me and become a witness. When you see bullying online, use this emoji to do something. Learn more at eyewitnessbullying.org.
Welcome back here on MTGA. Jason Byrne along with Brad Fetters getting set for the start of this game here between Dakota and Romeo. Let's quickly take a look at the starting lineups. First for the visiting Bulldogs, we have number 4, Ryan Heimbuch, number 20, Weston Jones, number 23, Blake McCrae, number 24, Brandon Owens, and number 32, Chris Riley. For the home Cougars, we have number 1, Josh Hines, number 2, Mark Toko, number 10, Xavier Glenn, number 11, Ryan Rollins, and number 21, Evan Messing. Dakota tonight, Brad, will be in their home gray uniforms. Romeo, rather, in their black uniforms lined with red. Looking forward to a good one here tonight.
And the player to pay attention to tonight for Romeo is number 23, Blake McCrae. Second team All-County last season, first team All-Area East and All-State honorable mention, and MVP of the MAC White last season, which saw the Romeo Bulldogs go 9-1.
Dakota wins the opening tap. Mark Toko at the point controls things.
And obviously Toko looking to pick up on a really good season last year. Averaged 12 points per game as a junior. First team All-MAC Red and third team All-County, and there's the man really to pay attention to. Number 11, Ryan Rollins, the do-everything guard for the Cougars, averaged over 20 points per game last season and really is the catalyst for this offense.
Talked to Coach Toko before the game. He said that their opening game, it was a struggle offensively as Toko drives in and lays it in. Against Orchard Lake St. Mary's, they really struggled with their shooting percentage, and that led to them kind of getting blown out. And much better effort against Grosse Pointe South. And a knock away. Toko comes away with it. Goes up, spins around, and knocked down to the floor.
First home game for the Dakota Cougars, and they got the crowd in it early here on a Friday night. You mentioned that Orchard Lake St. Mary's game. That was over at Callahan Hall, and the Cougars really could never really get anything going, and that 73-30 loss, but a nice rebound game over in Grosse Pointe against South, capturing that one 76-70, really getting that offense going. We mentioned at the very top of the broadcast that 4 different Cougars finished in double figures. Mark Toko leading the way that night with 18 points, 8 assists, and 6 steals. Already has a steal here tonight and 4 quick points.
Dakota off to an excellent start. Bring a little pressure now. A little 1-2-2 zone. And they get another knockaway. Toko with another steal. Looks to drop it off to Hines, who brings it back out.
So 2 possessions for the Bulldogs, 2 takeaways for the Dakota Cougars. So clamping down defensively, putting a little bit of a half-court press onto the Bulldogs and really giving them some fits.
Zone defense right now being played by Romeo. A couple ways to beat that is either with penetration or outside shooting. 3-pointer by Hines. He knocks it down right on cue.
Joshua Hines, only a sophomore. He had 14 points in that game against Grosse Pointe South, and Cougars looking good here on their home court to start this game off.
Good unselfish pass right there underneath. Romeo misses, but they get a second chance. 3-pointer on the way. Blake McCray misses. Here comes Dakota.
And the Bulldogs really rushing through these offensive sets.
Evan Messing in transition gets an easy bunny. Or excuse me, Xavier Glenn. Romeo has to call a timeout. They want to slow this Dakota team down.
Couple minutes into this ball game, and Coach Cushenberry has called his first time out of the night just to slow down this Bulldog effort. They're a little bit too fast right now. A couple turnovers, a couple rush shots, and have led to empty possessions, and the Cougars really have taken advantage of that with those 9 quick points.
Now they'll be in big trouble, Romeo will, tonight, and we haven't even called out Ryan Rollins' name at all, and they're already down 9. Not looking good early on. But we said at the beginning of the broadcast, Brad, that this is a game that really doesn't mean anything. It's kind of preparation, because when you play these crossover games, you know, your overall rankings won't matter. The, you know, district pairings are already set, so you're not playing for a position. You know, you're not playing a league game here. So this is strictly preparation. Get yourself ready for league play. And Romeo, who plays out of the white, Dakota obviously plays out of the Mac red.
Yeah, Dakota's next 3 ball games, Jason. Home for Roseville and L'Anse Creuse North, and then on the road against Chippewa Valley. All 3 of those games before Christmas, all 3 of those games league games. So you're going to have 3 league games before the Christmas break. That's almost hard to believe.
Little pump fake and a drive inside. Nice move by Blake McCray. He was fouled. He'll go to the line.
It's kind of similar now with the Big Ten moving to 20 conference games. You have those 2 conference games now in early December. There's nothing like easing into a schedule anymore. And Dakota's really going to see that with those 3 league games here in the middle of December.
McCray knocks down the first. Romeo on the board. And you also said it, Romeo, the last team when they played up in the red to win a MAC Red championship before Dakota's run off 4 straight.
Yeah, Dakota has owned this league the last 4 seasons and really have owned their district as well, winning 5 straight district titles.
Hines got a shooter's roll, knocked out another triple. Even had some words for his defender going back.
He sure did. And you can talk the talk when you walk the walk, and Joshua Hines has certainly done that in the early going.
10-point advantage right now for Dakota. Coming up on 5 minutes to play in the opening quarter. Hines got a hand on that one. Thought he might have come away with a steal, but.
And ferocious, tenacious defense right now out of the Cougars. Not giving anything easy to the Bulldogs here tonight.
Near turnover. Romeo still has it.
We've been in this gym for a lot of blowouts as the Cougars have a tendency to really pour it on in the early portion of games, and the same could be said here tonight.
That one went off Romeo. It looked like it might have gone off Rollins, but they said it did go off Romeo, so Dakota gets the turnover and another opportunity. They'll inbound it. Little alley-oop play to Glenn didn't work. Now in transition the other way. And a hard foul as Ryan Heimbuck went up. Student section thought it was a clean block, but definitely contact made.
Can you imagine if Xavier Glenn's jam was able to go down? It would have blown the roof off this gym.
First foul shot off the mark, and student section already been warned twice behind the net to quiet down, getting a little aggressive over there. Couple misses. Rollins comes away with the rebound. Good poise as he maintains balance. They Now set up this offensive possession from the elbow. Hines, little floater, knocks it down.
And really, that elbow shot is a soft spot of his own defense. So if the Cougars want to exploit that, they're going to be able to. And so far, they've really erased that bitter taste out of their mouth from that tough defeat to Orchard Lake St. Mary's. This offense clicking on all cylinders.
Yeah, they scored in the 70s against Grosse Pointe South. Three-pointer right there by Blake McCray.
And this was a Dakota team that could get it going offensively last season, averaged 64 points per game. That was the highest mark in the MAC Red by nearly 5 points per game. So we know this is a Cougar team that can really light up the scoreboard.
Substitution now, Jeremiah Major checks in for Dakota, as does Tyler O'Connor. He has it right now, drops it off. Glenn inside, little post move, little hook won't go.
Tough luck miss. Sprinting out the other way, Bulldogs turn it over again. Ryan Rollins, Jason, just headed towards the locker room. I don't know if that's maybe just an equipment issue or what, but we'll see if that becomes an issue if he stays in the locker room.
Keep an eye on it. Dakota has it here with 4 minutes to go in the opening quarter. We got a 9-point advantage here over Romeo. Hines goes baseline, drops it off. They swing it around. Shot wasn't there for Toko. Good ball movement. Sets up a three-pointer there for Tyler O'Connor. Great unselfish play there to move that ball around and find the open man.
It must be pretty nice when your sixth man comes off the bench and comes in and drains a triple. Extends that lead back up to double digits.
Coach Toko admitted to us he likes 10 deep. He's got about 10 guys right now he feels comfortable with. Toko right there with a steal. 2-on-1, a drop off. They're going to call
technical.
They're going to call a technical foul. There had been some jawing out there.
They're going to get Blake McCray. Yep. He turned and said something. The official wanted a foul call made.
He and Josh Hines had been going back and forth, both of them knocking down triples, and you can kind of watch it from up here where we're our vantage point. They had words for each other, and clearly something was said, and the official didn't like it.
And McCray, those words were directed right at the official that time. A little bit of frustration starting to set in for the Romeo Bulldogs.
Josh Hines now with 9, looking to have double digits here in the opening quarter. Excellent start for him.
And the Dakota Cougars bring back about 80% of their offense from a season ago, and then you inject Josh Hines into this lineup as a sophomore. This Cougar team, boy, they just continue to reload, don't they? Tradition doesn't graduate, I guess.
19-5 lead for Dakota and the ball now. Toko picked up his dribble, in trouble, kicks it out. Romeo continue to play that mostly zone. Now they've kind of switched back over to man-on-man. Glenn misses, but a putback foul by Jeremiah Major.
Major Johnny on the spot that time to clean up that rebound off the miss. Now some of the faculty here at Dakota creating a barrier for this rowdy student section. That's a first.
Dakota comes away right now with another turnover by the Bulldogs. Rollins back in the game, so that's good to see. It must have just been some equipment, like you said, or just had to take a quick timeout, but 2.5 left to go here in the opening quarter.
So you got the Cameron Crazies at Duke. What can we call the Dakota student section?
That's a good question. I'd maybe put that a poll question to our viewers. Romeo looking for any kind of offensive consistency. Haven't really been able to set anything up.
I mentioned we've been in this gym for plenty of blowouts. we've been in this gym for plenty of games, and we thought they might get a triple digits, 100 points of offense, and Cougars are kind of on their way to that potential triple digits here tonight. And I don't know if the scoreboard's got enough room.
Jeremy Flattery into the ball game, got called for that foul. Ball fake got him up in the air slightly, and out top, Romeo, another crack at it. Baseline, wild shot right there by Ryan Heimbuck. Out of bounds, it'll remain Bulldog basketball. Everything's tough right now for Romeo.
Yeah, Dakota really putting the Bulldogs into a grinder here tonight. Cutting off all passing lanes. This one's going to go in the backcourt, nobody there.
So Rollins will just grab it and put it up and lay it in. Bad mistake there.
Cushenberry wants another TO. Try to stop the bleeding.
That'll be the easiest 2 points Ryan Rollins scores all year long. All he had to do was run down and catch the ball. So 23-5 our score. Dakota has really put the pedal to the metal here tonight.
A disastrous start for the Romeo Bulldogs, who come into play with a 1-2 record. They dropped their first contest by 5 points to Eisenhower, lost by 16 to Detroit Catholic Central over at Callahan Hall before picking up a 4-point victory a couple nights ago against Lance Cruz. That was in their home gym at Romeo High School. So 1-2, Dakota 1-1, and took their lumps in that season opener against Orchard Lake St. Mary's, but really have answered the bell the last 2 games.
Yeah, well, Coach Toko admitted he thinks Orchard Lake St. Mary's legitimate. They're going to do a lot of damage in the Catholic League and could be one of the top teams in the state. So,
well, if you remember correctly, Dakota really took their lumps last season, the first 2 games of the year. U of D, they lost by 29 points and lost by 37, obviously, to that terrific New Haven team, and then they really took off, winning 10 of their next 11. So kind of following that same script this year.
They're a talented team. They're going to, of course, bounce back from any kind of defeat, but they're looking to defend that Mac Red championship this year. They've won 4 in a row, looking for number 5. They've got the talent to do it. A hard trap at half court. And what do we got, a foul? Evan Whalen, number 12, into the game, called for the foul.
Also our first look at Joey Toko.
Another Toko. Gonna get some opportunities, underclassmen. Playing for his dad. Romeo still looking for some offense. Drive inside, knocked away. Here comes Dakota the other direction. Major had that one knocked away off his knee, and it'll be Romeo basketball. So great defensive effort coming back to knock that ball away. Evan Messick checks back in, along with Marvin Hughes. So Coach Toko emptying his bench a little bit. Another knockaway, Rollins. Then held on to by number 33, Jake Plotz. Team 4th. Coming up on a minute to play here in the opening quarter.
Romeo now, a man-on-man defensive look.
Rollins takes a step, fires for 3. Shot off the mark. Rebounded right there by Plotz.
Looked like that offensive set was trying to get Jeremy Flattery involved in that post position. Big number 24 coming in at 6'5". Big body on the inside. Altered that shot attempt.
Well, then an inverted pass, and unfortunately for Romeo, just couldn't control it as Plotz went out of bounds. 26 seconds remaining. Dakota more than likely will hold for one final shot.
Coach Toko barking out some of these calls. He's coaching like they're down 18 points.
He's used to winning. A three-pointer right there by Ryan Rollins. Guess they're not going to hold for the final shot. It could be, though. 5 seconds remaining. Knock away. Dakota's got an opportunity. Toko Rollins, drop off, not going to get it up. Got to be aware of that clock. They just couldn't get an extra shot up. But that's the way the first quarter comes to a close. Dakota on their home court has a 21-point lead, 26-5. Stay with us. We'll be back in a few moments for the start of the second.
I'll be right back.
Hi. You think you're probably sober?
Yeah.
But you're thinking about taking the back roads home, just in case. If you're probably sober, then why would you do that? Good choice.
Probably okay isn't okay. If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend.
That's a full glass of wine. I'll be chatting you later.
Welcome back here on Macomb Township Government Access. Jason Burton and Brad Fetter set for the start of the second quarter here between Dakota and Romeo. Varsity boys basketball. It was all Cougars in that opening quarter, Brad. 26-5, they lead it. Romeo has the first possession here.
And you're getting scoring from all kinds of different players for Dakota. Now it's kind of the same script in their last win against Grosse Pointe South.
Dakota came away with a steal, but in transition turned it right back over.
And really in that first quarter, it was defense leading to offense. And anytime you can limit a school to 5 points, you're doing something right. Quite a few reserves in to start the second quarter.
It's been excellent defense thus far in the first half by Dakota. Romeo really struggling. They settling for a lot of these outside shots, but they're falling. Blake McCray, another triple. He's been their offense thus far tonight. Had all 5 points, and now the triple here. He's going to set himself up again and knock it down again. And then look at the Dakota bench that we're kind of giving him a hard time. He knocked down 2 in a row.
And looked at the student section as well and clapped his hands. Two teams starting to feel it now.
Mark Toko out top, working against his defender. Drives in, left-handed shot won't go. A putback follow by number 21, Evan Messing. He was fouled, so he'll go to the line.
Evan Messing, one of the senior captains, been on the varsity for 3 years, finally earning that starter's role. It's hard to crack the lineup as a big here at Dakota.
Over the last several years, it had been. They had some pretty dominant players, post players, come through here. Evan Messing, one of those guys that Coach Toko talked about before the season, said just a hard worker, and he worked himself into a starting role.
Yeah, really kind of a glue guy, right? Keeps that starting lineup together and provides you solid minutes and does a lot of the work nobody else wants to do.
Went up strong. That one knocked out of bounds, blocked nicely. Underneath by number 20, Weston Jones, along with number 32, Chris Riley. Defensive combo effort on that one.
And if you look up and down within the MAC Red, every single school in the MAC Red has terrific guard play. And really what's going to separate these teams is maybe that post presence.
Bad shot there by Mark Toko. Missed that one. And now up ahead of everybody in transition. Chris Riley lays it in.
Coach Toko begging for a timeout.
Yeah, Romeo started his quarter on an 8-2 run. Dakota can kind of feel the momentum changing a little bit, so he wants to talk things over, but Yeah, you noticed that was kind of the common theme when we did our basketball preview show this year. Almost every school we talked to and heard about said, well, we're going to have good guard play this year. We're really happy with our guard play. So something's got to give when all these guards matching up with one another, and we know Dakota's got a couple good ones here with Toko and Rollins.
Yeah, arguably two of the best, especially Ryan Rollins. Plays for the family, the AAU team, and he's already gotten multiple offers to play at the next level, including Cleveland State, all MAC Red last season, as well as all Macomb County a year ago. Co-offensive player of the year here at Dakota.
So out of the timeout now. Dakota has a little pressure being brought now. 1-2-2 trap. Hines over to Toko, a little ball fake, gives it back. Don't think Hines is going to shoot from that deep. Might have got away with an off-arm shove that time.
Yeah, that's what the Romeo bench is asking for. And
now we got a 5-second violation. Turnover for Dakota.
So maybe perhaps a makeup call.
Either way, the momentum has changed here. Romeo now to start this quarter. They played well.
Definitely working themselves back into this game.
Inside, nice look, a little turnaround jump shot misses. Little baby hook rather.
Tough miss there by Chris Riley.
Oh, and a tough collision.
And some extracurriculars after the whistle. No surprise involving Blake McRae. He plays with a little bit of an edge. He's already got a technical. You don't want him ejected.
Student section loves it, but obviously you don't want to see that in a high school game.
And look where Coach Cushenberry is. He knows how important Blake McRae is to this team, and he does not want him ejected.
I mean, it was a hard collision, but the way it seemed that Xavier Glenn got up, he got up kind of aggressively. So no technical fouls called, just kind of trying to get both teams to mellow out here a little bit. Blake McRae at the line.
Blake McRae, also a very good baseball player.
Knocks down one of two. Boy, he's been the offense thus far tonight. He's got 12 of the 14 points scored by Romeo. Nice little move at the foul line by Mark Toko, knocks down the jumper. Give him 6 points in the game. Well, behind the defense there, mistake defensively, a lay-in and one by Weston Jones.
It's a couple times already this evening that the Bulldogs have gotten behind that last line of defense for Dakota and have had some easy lay-ins, but thus far, a little too late, as they still trail in this game by 14 points.
Well, if you're Romeo, you can get this to single digits by halftime. It's a win. So they're just trying to claw back. That's a miss and a rebound by Ryan Rollins. Well, he's got the size to rebound and then get out in transition if he wants. Hines, maybe an ill-advised shot right there, but a nice effort. Tip out by Toko.
Yeah,
another one.
Couple tap backs.
That's great effort right there, because that first shot by Hines, maybe ill-advised, like I said. Another miss by Hines, and we're going to get a reach-in foul now against Tyler O'Connor.
And keeping possessions alive, second and third chance opportunities in closer ball games. Those are the big plays that make a difference. Hustle plays.
They got him on the line of the 1-on-1 opportunity. I don't think their scoreboard's right. Scoreboard only showing 5 team fouls.
7 against Dakota.
Seven against Dakota. You're right. I read that wrong. But to miss it anyway. Dakota kind of dodges a bullet. Once again, a little short jumper from the elbow. Hines knocks it down.
And the Romeo defense just parted perfectly for Josh Hines to knock down that mid-range jumper. And Romeo turning it over once again. Sloppy basketball to start the season for the Bulldogs.
Rollins kicks it out. Three-pointer. Hines off the heel, out of bounds. Major says it went off Romeo, and that's what the official says. So 3:45 left to go in the half. Dakota will have the, no, they're going to say it was Romeo basketball.
A little bit of a heat check perhaps there from Josh Hines, eyeing up that NBA three off the back iron. But he has been really good in this ball game. 12 points already for Josh Hines.
Once again, a little 1-2-2 press here by Dakota. They force a bad pass. They get the turnover.
Blake McRae being asked to do a whole heck of a lot here. He hasn't had an opportunity really to sit down much in this first half, and some careless play out of the Bulldogs.
Dangerous pass right there by Toko. Hines comes away, floats one up off the heel. Xavier Glenn had the rebound, got a jump ball. That time, Glenn just walked away, didn't want any kind of call against him. He's probably been warned.
Man, Josh Hines, his ability to cut to the basket, he's able to get around defenders. He's turning into quite the special player.
Rollins drives inside, dishes off to Glenn, misses, but he'll go to the line. Good unselfish play that time. (32-16) our score. Make it 33-16. Evan Whalen back into the game for Dakota. Seems like Coach Toko is using about 10 to 12 deep in this game.
And you can kind of do that with an 18-point league and work some of your reserves into action. Thus far, you really haven't seen much of a drop-off.
Nice interception that time by Toko. Rollins in transition. Oh, he tried for a dunk, was Glenn. Misses. Hines couldn't get the little bunny, but here's Romeo now out in transition. Missed that time by Ryan Heinbuch. He wanted a foul.
And the word interception's not very good for Mark Toko. He doesn't like that word as a quarterback of this Cougar team.
Defensively on the basketball court, he'll take it. He'll take as many interceptions as he can get.
He didn't throw many of them on the football field this season. Gunslinger.
Three-pointer on the way here, misses everything. A nice save and a nice second effort now. Second leads a second chance opportunity. That one in and out. Romeo just can't buy a bucket right now. Rollins to Toko inside. That bucket will not count. Foul on the floor.
Speaking of football, Dakota had to watch their arch rivals, the Chippewa Valley Big Reds, win a state title this year.
Well, they've had a couple themselves back in 06-07. Got a couple banners and a couple players' numbers retired from those state championship teams, so they've gone through it here at this school. But yeah, Chippewa Valley with an excellent run, and a lot of those players we'll see on the basketball court this year, as Coach Voss had to wait for the football season to be over to get half his team out there.
Yeah, he mentioned on our preview show that he was running some practices where he only had 4, 5, 6 guys on the floor because he was waiting for all his football guys to join the team.
He had a tough time even playing 4-on-4 in practice.
Now, they were my pick to win the MAC Red, and they've gotten off to a little bit of a slow start, 1-2 overall. I haven't obviously played any league games, but think it's going to be a Big Red team that'll round into form come late in the season. And that was a Big Red team that gave Dakota their lone MAC Red loss of the season a season ago.
And I think after seeing some of these early games, you know, your sleeper pick might actually look better than your actual pick, and mine as well. Roseville knocking off New Haven.
Yeah, the Roseville
That's an impressive
Panthers.
victory.
Yeah, it sure was. Roseville off to a perfect start, 3-0, as is the Eisenhower Eagles. Ike out to a 3-0 start in their non-conference play, and that was a team that we really didn't know much about and didn't really know what to expect, and have gotten off to that terrific start.
On this end, we got a foul as Toko
and this Cougar team has just dominated the MAC Red the last 4 seasons, Jason. 43-1 in league play the last 4 years. That's just unbelievable.
Yeah, well, like we said, but you had some players come through here that all went on to play collegiate basketball. I mean, they had some teams.
84-16 in that 4-year span overall. That's an average season of 21-4. And can you imagine coming through 4 years at Dakota and all 4 seasons winning a district title?
Three-pointer on the way here on this end. In and out, back in again by Greg Tarr.
Iron kind that time.
Hines inside the three-point line, misses. Kind of struggling now with his outside shot, but that ball tipped around Dakota. Second chance opportunity. Ryan Rollins now.
Hines a little bit of a green light special. He's got the go to shoot from anywhere on the floor.
A drop off that time to Jeremy Flattery didn't work. In transition, a little bit wild that time was Romeo. Back the other direction now.
Kind of get the sense that Romeo's just kind of caught up in the pace of this game and just rushing through things.
Toko works around his defender, floats one up, misses. Rebound inside, Flattery misses. And now we're going to get a foul.
Referee is quickly getting in there, and this game has definitely gotten physical. Well, that's a play that Jeremy Flattery is going to want back.
46 seconds remaining in the half, and 1-on-1 opportunity here. Brian Heimbuck will go to the line. First foul shot misses, so here comes Dakota. Hines goes to Rollins out top. See if they want to ISO him, and it looks like that's what they're trying to set up here. Let Rollins work one-on-one. Misses that shot after he got by his defender briefly. Romeo now coming back the other way.
Oh.
Mishandling that one, but somehow able to still get a shot up was Bryce Tinson.
Wow,
like
ref's letting him play.
Like a pinball. Oh, and now a clothesline.
Uh-oh.
Ryan Rollins didn't take kindly to that. Now the coach is going to come out here. That was a flagrant at midcourt. Boy, after you just said it, they were letting them play. Once that ball got to midcourt, you could see number 4, Ryan Heimbuck, just put a double elbow in the chest of one of the Dakota Cougars, and Ryan Rollins turned around, didn't take kindly to it at all. Of course, they quickly remove him. They want to get him in any kind of long-term danger. So the officials now talking about it.
And Dakota, I think, is going to put Jeremiah Major into the game, who's a middle linebacker for the Dakota Cougar football team. That's probably a good answer.
A technical foul, obviously, against Romeo. Hines knocks down the first free throw.
surprised they didn't get Ryan Rollins for a technical as well. Rollins, the second guy into that scrum with the push. Usually it's the second guy in that gets caught.
I think they called that technical right immediately when he threw those elbows up. They called that the flagrant foul, and they might have called the technical.
And I guess they did get Rollins.
They did get Rollins, so both teams with technicals offsetting. So Dakota knocked down their 2 free throws. Let's see what Romeo does. Knocks down the first, number 24, Brandon Owens at the line. Well, we got that sense early on, Brad. It was going to get a little chippy. We got 2 loud student sections here tonight, and the emotions running high here on a Friday evening basketball game.
I wonder if a lot of this kind of carries over, too, from the rivalry that these 2 teams share on the football field.
These 2 schools used to playing each other in a lot of sports, but of course, yeah, none bigger than football in the MAC Red. 8 seconds left here in the half. Let's see if Romeo can get a quality shot.
Oh.
And we're going to get a traveling call. Joe Gamachi.
He hurt himself big time.
He landed wrong, and he's hobbling over there. The official are going to allow a substitution.
He tried a jump step, and I think he tweaked that knee.
So now 2.9. Let's see if Dakota can go length of the court here and get a quality shot up.
Romeo going to apply some pressure here with a full court press. Try to limit that look.
Toko gets to midcourt. He was tripped up. Looking for a foul call, but they're going to say it was incidental. That should have been a foul, though. And Coach Toko's out there to talk about it. He's not happy, but, well, a chippy first half nonetheless, Brad, comes to a close. Dakota has the 38-23 lead going into the locker room.
Yeah, Cougars jumped out to that early 21-point lead after the first quarter of play and withstood a little bit of a Romeo run here in the second quarter of play and what has been a very physical night of basketball here in Dakota High School.
38-23. We'll be right back in a few moments. Start of the second half. Don't go away.
Leah, did you put a new dent in that?
This one? No.
Were you texting and driving again?
Yes.
Hi, Leah.
Hi, Dad.
Sorry about your bumper.
Because of you, I felt hopeless.
I know it was a joke, but it still hurt me.
Because of you, I felt wanted and not alone in this world.
Because you said hi to me on the first day of school, I felt included and I knew that I was going to be okay.
Macomb County, 27 cities, townships, and villages. From East Point to Memphis, Romeo to New Baltimore. 458 square miles of where you want to be. It's a place where your children can grow, and so can your business. Macomb County's tree-lined borders contain over 12,000 acres of parkland. Its outer edge, 31 miles of freshwater shoreline, both filled each year with countless concerts, festivals, and family reunions. It's the birthplace of advanced technologies that not only instruct future generations, but protect them. Hey, and those are just facts. You can get that from the internet or a book. No. To truly understand what Macomb County is all about, you need to experience it. You need to live here. You need to work here. When you do that, you'll know you're home.
Welcome back here in Macomb Township Government Access. Jason Byrne along with Brad Fetters. Getting set for the start of the third quarter here between Dakota and Romeo, varsity boys basketball. And Brad, the end of that first half got a little chippy and both sides a little heated, but Dakota with the lead right now, 38-23 as we start the third.
It's going to be really interesting to see if that physical nature of the first half will carry over here into the third quarter. We've already seen 3 technical fouls called in this game, and now we got some confusion here as the refs will come together to discuss things, but really a solid first quarter of play has kind of set the tone thus far for the Dakota Cougars, outscoring Romeo 26-5. Bulldogs, nice job in that second quarter to work themselves back into this game, but you just kind of have to figure at this point maybe just too much firepower for Dakota.
Romeo was led by Blake McCray in that first half. 12 points for him. Dakota, on the other hand, Josh Hines with 14 leading the way for Dakota.
And McCray, as good as advertised. He was a player we kind of focused our attention to before the start of this game as kind of that do-everything player, and he's been relied upon quite a bit here this evening.
He has the ball now, being guarded by Mark Toko.
Be interesting to see what kind of adjustments Romeo makes here after the halftime break. Thought the Bulldogs just kind of rushed through things offensively. Really weren't able to get these sets to work and really kind of taking their time here.
Romeo continues to work this around.
There's case in point, ball just sticking, right? Not a lot of movement, not a lot of ball movement. Passes aren't crisp, and you're just getting yourself into trouble.
Little give and go didn't work. Romeo's second chance opportunity. That shot won't fall. Dakota with the rebound.
And Romeo relying on the jumper, low percentage shots.
Toko out top now, being guarded by Brandon Owens. A little switch as McCray is off him.
And McCray now
working against Hines.
Yeah, it's a better matchup there for Romeo. They're going to try to take away Hines.
Xavier Glenn, little baseline jumper, misses everything. Here comes Romeo. Heimbuck got called for that flagrant foul late in the first half. Out there for Romeo. Shot off glass, misses. Xavier Glenn with the board. Rollins had that one go off his hands, able to keep the possession. Toko for 3, knocks it down.
And there's the difference. Romeo has had their chances offensively here in the third quarter, haven't been able to cash in, and Dakota comes right down the floor and knocks down the triple try.
Going to get a traveling violation now here on the other side.
Yeah, slight hesitation that time by Weston Jones, caused him to shuffle the feet.
Rollins out top. They like to run this isolation with him. He pulls up, fires, knocks it down, and 1. That's exactly why they like to run that kind of offensive set.
And Rollins draws the double team, able to hang long enough to draw the contact. Gets the shot to fall and will try to earn the old-fashioned three-point play. Lead back up to 20 points now for the Cougars.
Rollins completes the three-point trip. Dakota likes when they can say they have a 3-touchdown lead over Romeo. That's exactly what they have, a 21-point lead. McCray, a deep three-pointer, knocks it down. They can't give him space. He can knock those shots down. Nice drop off to Glenn, but blocked nicely by Weston Jones. Romeo bench comes alive on that one. McCray, little ball fake, lost it. Rollins up ahead. Toko will just take it himself and lay it in.
McCray turning down an open look, drove in and found himself in all kinds of trouble, and Toko with the knockaway And the easy points.
That was a big
transition.
That was a big swing for Romeo because another bucket there would have helped them cut into the deficit. Instead of turnover leads to easy points for Dakota. Mark Toko called for the foul. Jeremiah Major checking back in for Dakota.
Major sat out last basketball season after playing his first 2 seasons of basketball. So year off for him. And why not try to be a part of this special team?
Yeah, Coach Toko needed some big bodies, and he might not have the height necessarily, but obviously you can see by just his width and girth, man, he's a solid kid. Three-pointer off the front of the iron. Toko grabs it now in transition. He's so fast. Misses with a putback by Josh Hines. See how fast that Toko got down the court that time. Good awareness, though, by Hines to follow the play.
How good is this Dakota team in transition?
McCray underneath, knocked away. That was contested by Rollins, and now we get an elbow foul underneath by Romeo.
They're going to call Toko.
No, they're going to call it on Toko. The official immediately said it was an elbow thrown. So again, some frustrations, and not sure why here with a 22-point lead, Dakota. Nice baseline short jumper that time by Ryan Heimbach. A lot of this hostility, it must stem from previous sports, like you said, on the football field, because, or maybe these two schools just simply don't like each other.
Now the Romeo faithful here making some noise, their student section. I'm not going to repeat their chant, but it's aimed directly at Toko.
McCray, a little wild there on that drive. Still got a shot up, knocked out of bounds. It'll be Romeo basketball. Mark Toko's going to go sit down, kind of take a breather.
And picked up those 2 fouls.
Nice cut inside. Tried to adjust in the shot that time was Brandon Owens. Couldn't get it to fall, but he'll go to the line. Boy, he made a nice cut inside.
And definitely the highlight of Romeo's night. As not much has gone according to plan here.
Brandon Owens knocks down the first, he'll get one more. Close to a lane violation that time. The officials did not call it, but Romeo gets the 2 points on that end, and now here comes Dakota. Hines gets a screen. Boy, and it's a tough screen when Jeremiah Major sets it.
Really creates some open space for you.
You want him out there laying those screens down for the guards. Here comes another one.
Nice pick and roll.
Oh, yeah. He rolled off that nicely and laid it in.
Textbook pick and roll.
We both saw that one coming, too, the way he rolled off of it. Beautifully played. Hines pulls up inside the three-point line, misses. You can see Coach Toko telling him to slow that down. He had nobody underneath, potentially for a rebound. Miss on this end of the court. Dakota with the rebound. We've seen that a few times tonight. Josh Hines has come down and taken a quick shot, and a couple times I've said it might be ill-advised because there's no one underneath to potentially grab a rebound.
Oh, terrific motion there.
Xavier Glenn gets the bucket underneath. Nice little pass inside and a drop-off to Ryan Heimbach.
Heimbach and Krieger coming together, 2 Bulldogs in the same space.
Both teams right now playing well collectively. Rolling off the ball nicely. Rollins, three-pointer off the front of the iron, but Xavier Glenn grabs the board. Hines set up for 3 in the corner, misses. Grabs his rebound, though, off the hands of Glenn. Here comes Romeo. In transition, Heimbuck drops it off. McCray lays it in.
If Dakota plays like this, they're going to be tough to beat in the MAC Red. Such talented guards. Their bigs are starting to come into their own. Really got to like what Xavier Glenn does on the inside.
How about that one? Little alley-oop dunk right there by Glenn, and got the student section fired up.
Kind of the exclamation point on a terrific performance here tonight.
Well designed that time and well executed. Rollins to Glenn. Some tells me we're going to see that a little bit more this year.
Yeah, it's basically unguardable.
Got a foul on the floor here against Dakota, and going to get some wholesale changes now by both teams. So keep you up to date on who's coming in and who's going out.
There's really not too many high school athletes that can go up, snag a ball out of the midair, and slam it down like that. And Xavier Glenn using all 6'6" of his frame to bring that hammer down.
McCray out top now. Jake Plotz looking for help. He's going to get called for a 5. He's not careful. McCray has it now. He's had a nice ball game. He's got 17, leading the way for the Bulldogs.
And half their scoring.
Missed there. Rebound now out in transition. Ball knocked away that time. Three-pointer, Toko off the front of the iron. His brother Mark knocked it back, and they were able to save it. Great hustle by Joey Toko. Little up and under by Jeremy Flattery. Kind of like a look at what I found bucket. His first bucket of the night. Another turnover. Major comes away with the steal. Drop off. Toko back to Major.
Big fella running the floor, rim to rim.
That's going to be the end of the third quarter. Well, that was a wild third, but Dakota out front big, leading at 60-34. Stay with us. We'll be back in a few moments for the final quarter. Don't go away.
Some say e-cigarettes aren't dangerous,
but science shows nicotine can harm teens' developing brains.
no matter how they're exposed.
Let's do an experiment to find out.
Here's a teen who won't be using e-cigarettes.
Now we need one willing to risk their brain development.
Anyone care to volunteer your kid?
Anyone?
Your kids are not an experiment. Protect them from e-cigarettes.
Welcome back. Start of the fourth and final quarter here at Dakota High School. Jason Burton, Brad Fetters with you. Dakota has a 60-34 lead over the Romeo Bulldogs, Brad. That third quarter, we saw an offensive outburst by the Cougars.
Yeah, it was 6 different scorers. That's kind of been the storyline here tonight. And
Joey Toko knocks down a triple.
And he gets involved in the scoring. It's just so many weapons up and down this Dakota bench. They are absolutely loaded. Fun team to watch.
That shot off the heel and a putback opportunity, no good. That one knocked away. Romeo still has it. How about a fourth try? No good. Bad outlet pass. McCray swipes it, knocks. Try to knock down that triple. Back and forth we go. Mark Toko takes it himself. Knocked down to the floor. He'll go to the line. Wild action here between these two schools. $14 points tonight for Mark Toko. Looking for number 15. Misses the second one. Here comes Romeo now. McCray looking for anybody to help him out offensively. A bad pass inside, swiped by Toko.
You got to imagine those Dakota-Roseville games are going to be absolute track meets. Two high-powered offenses.
Ball knocked out of bounds. Dakota has the possession. Yeah, two good teams like that, but you don't know how defensively how they're going to play against one another either. But I mean, this Dakota team has limited Romeo to 34 points.
And that will be the MAC Red opener for these Cougars next week against Roseville.
It's hard to say a game like that could mean the MAC Red, but my goodness, you look at the talent level by those two schools. Very potentially that could be the game, or one of the games.
Look at that hard work by Mark Toko grabbing that rebound.
Ball loose on the floor. 2-on-1 the other way. A nice defensive play by Joey Toko coming back. And now Josh Hines couldn't get away from his defender. They're going to call a foul against Romeo. Of course, they play each other twice, right? Roseville and Dakota, so once here and once on the road. Hines with a little floater in the lane.
And one of those teams going to come out of here 1-0 and get a leg up really on the competition, you would think. I think the balance within the MAC Red should be pretty close this season. I don't know. This Dakota team obviously could run away with it.
They're going to get some competition. There's some good basketball teams in the Red. And like we said, you know, a team like Eisenhower was an unknown. They won their first few games, but they haven't played a MAC Red contest yet, so we'll see. Ball knocked out of bounds right in front of our cameraman down there, Adam Abraham. Well, he didn't even flinch when that ball came right next to him.
True professional.
Joey Toko brings it out top, coming up on 5.5 to go in the half, or to go in the game rather. Missed three-pointer. Here comes Romeo.
That was from Steph Curry range.
Yeah, they gave him the space. He was going to take it. Guess you have that luxury when you're up by this much. Nice drive inside and a finish by Greg Tarr. Hines floats one up, knocks that one down.
Playmakers get those kind of rolls, don't they?
Hines looks like that next tier of guard coming through here. He can play. Missed shot there by Romeo. Here comes Dakota Rowlands up ahead of everybody. A block from behind, but a foul. Evan Whalen got knocked down. He'll go to the line.
A few of these reserves like Evan Whalen, seniors, have been part of the program and contribute some valuable minutes down the stretch.
Ryan Rowlands checks out of the ball game. More than likely, that's going to be the last time that he checks out. 10 points for Ryan Rowlands here tonight. And the miss on that second free throw. Glenn tried to put back. He misses. Here comes Romeo now in transition. Ryan Heimbach turned back and called that foul before the official did. So there was contact. Got the call. He'll go to the line.
That's how it's played on the playground, right? Call your own fouls.
Yep. Well, this will be a nice win for Dakota now as they get set for the grind They're going to get a little bit of a break this year because the schedule's bumped up. Availability for the state championship games at the Breslin Center unavailable at the normal time they would play them, so they bumped the boys' season up. So they're going to play 3 league games before the holiday break, and then they'll get that little time in between to kind of reset things, and they'll come back and they'll have the remainder of their conference games and then the MAC tournament later on in February.
We got an interesting matchup with West Bloomfield coming up as well. That game's going to be played over at St. Clair Community College. Just got to really defend your home court and win all your home games, and then somewhere along the line pick up a couple road victories. It's going to be an absolute grind within that MAC Red. And ten league games.
Mark Toko up strong, going to get called for a charge. Number 13, Greg Tarr, stood in there.
Tarr really taking the brunt of that, came up hobbling, and appears he's going to stay in this basketball game.
Good to see the Romeo student section still chanting down by this many, but
yeah, they've been relentless, haven't they?
McCray, strong off glass, misses second chance, putback is good.
The message isn't quite as impactful when you're down 30 points.
19 points tonight for Blake McCray. Yeah, the target of that student section is Mark Toko, and we get a bucket on this end.
Toko with 14 points in this game, so he's giving it right back to that Bulldog student section on the scoreboard, and that's where it matters the most.
Hey, he beat him in football, and looks like he's going to beat him in basketball. So outside shot here on this end. Romeo McCray with an offensive rebound, putback, and a foul.
These two teams didn't meet at all last season. About 2 seasons ago, twice, including the playoffs. Seems like a natural rivalry at this point. They should meet every single year.
So McCray adds to his outstanding night.
Romeo 14-6 over the last 2 seasons in the MAC white, and you might say, well, it would probably be good enough to move back up to the MAC red, especially after they captured the white title last season. But Roseville gets the nod, and Roseville winners of that MAC red, MAC white tournament last season. And
Romeo might be happy that Roseville not only went up to the red, but then they didn't, but they might be happy just to get Roseville out of the white.
Yeah, that white looks like another division that's going to be really competitive. You got to like the looks of Warren Mott, who's in the white now in football and basketball, a traditional power the last couple, I would say almost nearly a decade now in basketball. I know this Warren Mott team had quite a matchup with Dakota in the playoffs. And
those 2 Grosse Pointe schools are tough, too.
And New Haven moves up to the white as well with arguably the best player in the state of Michigan in Romeo Weems.
Outside shot doesn't fall. An offensive rebound nicely done there by Evan Messing, and then he was fouled.
Romeo Weems going to DePaul.
Kind of a shock.
Picking DePaul over Michigan State.
Well, not necessarily just over Michigan State. I mean, he was being looked at by a lot of schools, and a lot of people thought just because of the homegrown that it would be State or maybe Ann Arbor. They would go play at Michigan, but he was also being looked at by some East Coast schools as well, and then all of a sudden declared to DePaul. So wish him the best.
And we saw that New Haven team a couple years ago come in here and have an absolute classic nail biter with this Dakota squad. Two heavyweights in the center of the ring just trading blows. That was a fun one to broadcast.
Yep. And hopefully he can go to DePaul and bring them back. It's been a while since they've had success there and made the tournament. Hard drive inside by Marvin Hughes. He was fouled. This final few minutes really slowing down here with fouls.
Gotta love some of those smaller programs making noise come March. Loyola making the Final Four a season ago.
Of course, get to see now Thomas Kitt there at Michigan State, who played here at Dakota for 3 years.
Valentine and Jackson at UAD Mercy.
That one rolls off and a putback. Nicely done that time by Blake Woodward. So Romeo really emptying their bench as well. Hughes with a three-pointer. Misses. Rebounded by Woodward. Gonna get a traveling call on this end. Brookhorn decided to dip his shoulder, but took one extra step.
And probably get away with a little bit of an offensive foul, but they got him for the steps instead.
2:09 remaining in the ball game. 73-46, and in the 70s is where Dakota can get to on most nights with this offensive capability.
And we're going to see this Dakota team quite a bit here on MTGA. I'm looking forward to all their matchups all season long. We had quite a game, Lance Cruz North as well.
Three-pointer by Hughes in the corner.
Be interesting to see if Lance Cruz North can take a couple steps forward within the MAC Red. They've kind of been down in the dumps the last couple of years. Obviously, losing Blake Daniels was a huge blow to that team last year.
Three-pointer off the mark that time by Sean Schweisinger into the game. 11 different Dakota Cougars have scored here tonight, Brad.
It's a roster that only goes 15 deep, so a couple guys need to get some playing minutes here.
Well, Sean Schweisinger just had that shot. If that would have fallen, then you'd have 12 guys that would have been on the score sheet.
Come on, Coach Toko, let's make this happen.
You got to pretty much on the floor right now, the guys that aren't on the score sheet. Number 20, Nathan Swijek. Sean Schweisinger at the line now, so he can knock down a free throw that'll get him on the score sheet. Number 23, Zach Hogan into the game as well.
Ooh, tough luck miss.
Schweisinger misses the foul shot. Oh, that's going to be a carry. Well, they didn't call it. Fish is just letting this run out. Blake Woodward. Not sure if Coach Toko is going to let them try to score, but, well, right on cue, then they allow him to put a shot up. Not at times they'll come down and just kind of dribble it out up big like this.
How about the Cougar Den for the student section? You like that?
The Cougar Den? That would work to make sure there's no copyrights on that anywhere. Student section. It's always on a Friday night. It's always fun, no matter where we go. We see crowds over at Lance Cruz North, at Eisenhower, and
Eisenhower. They're seemingly right on the floor.
Yep, they're right on
student
top of
section. Sometimes it's hard to hear yourself think in that building.
There's a nice knockaway by Schweisinger, 2-on-1. Make it 4-on-1. Jeremiah Major lays it in and fouled. Somehow that turned into a 4-on-1.
Opportunity here to hit the 80 mark.
So our scorekeeper does have to switch over to the 80s. 80-48.
Scoring has been fast and furious tonight out of the Cougars, and see if they continue to press. Something bouncing on the floor.
Coach now saying spread them out and just kind of dribble this out, but no, an outside shot misses. Schweisinger got a hand on it. Jeremiah Major trying to come over with it, and a knockaway steal. Swedzik, a turnaround, he misses. Major up off glass, lays it in. Persistence on defense. Gets an extra bucket, so they get to 82, and that's the final score. Dakota wins it 82-48. Brad, your thoughts on tonight's game?
Really an impressive performance out of Dakota here tonight on both ends of the floor. I think the first half they really got it done defensively, clamping down on Romeo, really limiting their looks. And this offense, lots of firepower. We talked about their guards throughout this game, how good the guard play is, but you look up and down this roster, just all kinds of talent, and this Dakota team locked and loaded should be contenders within the MAC Red this season.
Well, we'll have a lot of games here on Macomb Township Government Access, so keep it locked here through the winter. Check our playback schedules online, as well as our MTGA YouTube channel. Once again, final score here tonight, 82-48, Dakota with the win. Thank you so much for watching. So long.